still feel new. It's the peace that came from letting go. The smile that shows up out of nowhere. When I slow my pace and take it in, I realize I got more than I thought I had. I don't rush past the blessing anymore. Don't treat the good like it's small. Life taught me joy, don't always shout. Sometimes it's soft to call. These are the grand things, the kind that make your chest feel full. The grand things, the love that stayed, the moments that pulled me through. It ain't about having everything figured out. It's noticing what's already here right now. Yeah, these are the grand things, and I'm grateful for them. It's the wisdom earned from living, not rushing who I'm meant to be. It's learning how to celebrate the version of me standing here. It's family checking in just because, and joy showing up unplanned. Funny how the biggest parts of life were right here in my hands. I used to think grand meant far away, somewhere I hadn't gone. Turns out grand was walking with me all along. These are the grand things, smiles that don't need a reason why. The grand things, the quiet wins that don't make headlines. It ain't about the past or racing ahead. It's gratitude living where my feet are planted. Yeah, these are the grand things, and I choose to stand in them. And always loud. Sometimes it's still, sometimes it's a deep breath. Laughing until you can't sit still. If you pause long enough, you'll see what I mean. There's a whole lot of gray in the life you're already living. Hey, everybody, it's Mother Theresa. And listen, there is a whole lot of grand things in the life that you are already living. Welcome to Grandstanding with Mother Theresa on this Tuesday night, 7:05. Listen, if you haven't already went and picked up your favorite snack, your favorite beverage, you still have time to run and go and grab it before we really get into the heart of the lesson or the topic on tonight. Listen, everybody, first of all, I need you to like and share this segment on tonight, because I want to give a word of encouragement to everybody that's listening on tonight. And hey, my people who are going to be joining me a little bit later on, listen, it means you too, okay? It means you too. All right, I know I've got my family on here. I've got some friends, some loved ones that's listening. Hello there, my kind of May and my honey. Listen, you all, I know someone else just joined in. It's probably my mom. But these are my faithful listeners who listen and tune in live. So many of you all actually watch the replays or the little snippets from the live. So for those of you all who are sending me messages and saying, where can I find the live video? Where can I find or tune in and watch the whole thing? Well, it's on YouTube. You can definitely get it off of YouTube. It's always posted on Tuesday night, probably about 9 o'clock. But if you're still wanting to find some more information, or you want to be a part of the live broadcast, tune in with me every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock on Facebook. This is a Facebook live stream, so you can tune in with me if you have comments, if you want to share some things. Somebody said my show is on. Yay! Hello there, my Rennie. Her show is on. Okay, so let's get this show started. I just wanted to tell you all, as we walk into 2026, and we've left 2025. Remember, we left that behind us. We left it. But I want to tell you all something, and this may be a shock to some of you all, okay? For others, you're going to say, I received that. I understand that. But for some of you all, especially for those of you who are like to beat yourself up, okay? I want you to know, listen, this is profound. You, yes, you, and you too. You are doing better than you think. I'm going to say that again. You are doing better than you think. And I'm going to go as far as to say, you are doing much better than you actually think, okay? And I want you all to take hold of that statement and let that be your guiding force for the rest of this year. Because so many times some of us think, oh, we're not doing well. Oh, I could have done better. Oh, I'm not doing as well as so-and-so is. Remember I told you, stop comparing yourself to those, to the fake Facebook and social media idols that you all are I'm not going to say worshiping, but stop comparing yourself, okay? Tonight, I want you to think about the fact that you are doing much better than you think, okay? And I want you all to understand that when I say that, that's not about pushing harder, although if some of you all believe that you do need to go harder than what you currently are doing, then by all means do that. But it's about seeing yourself clearly in the state that you're currently in. And the state that you are currently in, first of all, let me just say this. If you are still standing, you're doing better than you think, okay? Some of us walked into 2026. We were tired. Felt like we were defeated. But it's not because we failed, but it's really because we survived. You know, we've had a lot of things that happened in 2025. And I just realized that my voice is getting a little bit elevated. And I think it's getting a little bit elevated because I'm a witness that 2025, it dealt us some hard blows, you all. It dealt us some hard blows. But I want you to understand, not only did it deal us some hard blows, it gave us some soft blows as well. Some of us really excelled in 2025, but not everybody did. So I want you to understand, those who feel like you failed, I want you to know that just because you walked into 2026 feeling tired, defeated, and all that, I want to tell you that is not the case. If you are still here, that means that you survived 2025, and 2026 is going to give you an opportunity to do more, to be more, to live more, to dream more, to accomplish more. But guess what? You've got to stop underestimating the progress that you've made. And so many of us, we learn to, or we measure our success by the big wins in our life, okay? We measure it by what society tells us. But I want you all to start thinking about that winning means that you didn't quit, you didn't give up, you didn't snap back at somebody when they were talking, trash to you or lip to you or whatever you all call it these days. You didn't snap back. You didn't give up on yourself. You are still pushing. And most of us are just really getting through the day with grace. And that's what it's all about, okay? Getting through the day with grace. And so many of us, we don't hear people clapping for us when I say that you didn't quit, that you didn't snap back, that you're not giving up on yourself, that you're making progress. Sometimes because we're not hearing the people clapping or cheering for us or liking our statuses, we think that we are a failure. But I'm here to tell you that that is not the case. That is definitely not the case. I want y'all to understand that, you know, when we are going through different things, I'll say when I'm going through different things, you know, my husband's been telling me the last couple of days, honey, you have been awfully quiet, that you're not talking as much, you know, and that is true. You know, I'm processing some things, and it's not that I feel defeated, but I shared with him the other day when we were riding, taking a little road trip, and I said, I'm just in deep thought about some things. I'm trying to process some things that have happened, some things that have happened in our community, just some things in general. And sometimes we are processing things and we are going through things, not that it has broken us, but it's given us an opportunity to step back and say, you know what, I need to try to put this into perspective. I need to see, you know, how sometimes is, you know, and I'm not saying this case, but sometimes it's like, how could, if I was in a situation, how could I have done things differently? How could I have made the situation better? Hey, my family, I see Ned and Teddy. Congratulations. They just celebrated their, I don't know what year. Ned, put your anniversary, or Teddy, put your anniversary year in there. They just celebrated their anniversary. Y'all, this is my oldest daughter and my son in love, the Culpeppers, Team Culpeppers. And I love you all so very much. So congratulations on your anniversary. Also, another grand thing, I know I just went on a rabbit trail, but I will be back, okay? My grandbabies, my two sugars, just celebrated their 4th birthday. These are my twin, identical twin granddaughters. Just celebrated their 4th birthday. So lots of grand things that's happening in my life, in the lives of those that are connected with me. So as I was saying, just because you post something on Facebook and people don't like it, or you don't get as many likes, or people don't share, thanks Teddy, or people don't share, that does not mean, met 30 years ago, married 26 years on January the 8th. That's the Culpepper story. The owners of the best seasoning, the all-purpose seasoning you can ever find anywhere. Not on the shelves in the major grocery stores yet, but it's coming. Soul peppers, okay? So when people don't necessarily like the things that you are posting, don't feel discouraged, okay? I was listening to somebody today, and they were talking about how to grow your social media presence, okay? And they were talking about, if you had, some of us get so stressed out if only 50 people comment or like our post, or 100 people like our post or say something about it. Hey, my Candace, that's my youngest daughter, and this is the mama of my sugars. All right. Listen, Candace, you are now known as the sugars mama, and my other babies, but mostly the sugars mama, because that's who I talk about a lot. But listen, you all, if 100 people like your comment or take the time to make a statement about your post, listen, how many of you all know 100 people? How many of you all have 100 people in your inner circle? Not many people can say, you know, I know personally 100 people that I have in my inner circle. So if 100 strangers say, hey, you know, or like or whatever, that's really, really good. So don't feel whatever if you have 5 people or 20 people or whatever. You know what? The thing about it, and we have to be so very careful, and I feel like I just took another turn. We have to be so very careful that we are not measuring that we're doing better than we think by what other people are saying or posting or agreeing with us. Because let me just tell you, yes, the likes are good because that lets us know we're on the right track, okay? Or sometimes we're not on the right track. We're just needing to say what we need to say and move on. I'm not posting so you will like what I state or I say. I'm posting because, first of all, either that came across my mind or I felt like I needed to share something or whatever. So if, you know, a lot of times I post things and I don't even go back to even look to see if there's likes on it or whatever, or, you know, and I know I need to because I'm trying to build my social media presence, and I understand engagement. But sometimes, you all, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have time to go back and to engage. I don't have time to do that. A lot of times it's simply because I'm not posting for people to either agree with me or disagree with me. That's your opinion. That what you're thinking doesn't necessarily really weigh into what I'm posting. Social media does not determine my worth. Okay, or sometimes posts are made for engagement. Engagement equates to money. Candace, you're exactly right. So yes. And let me just tell you, we are learning how to work the system because guess what? I'm going to retire really soon, and I'm depending on social media to kind of help pick up in the slack, okay? So I'm out here trying my best. That's why I do things like grandstanding. That's why I'm posting on different social medias. And I know I'm doing better than I think, you all. I am doing much better than I was last year. So guess what? I'm still on subject, even though I may have went down a rabbit hole. And like I said, what I want you all to also think about is that when we are doing what we're doing, and I'm talking about being better than what you think. I said something earlier about grace. And let me just ask yourself, when was the last time that you gave yourself grace for the things that you are doing currently right now? When's the last time you gave yourself credit for the things that you're doing right now? Listen, I've already stated, it doesn't have to be 100% all of that, and like people used to say, in a bag of chips. It doesn't have to be all of that. But if you've given your best and you've put your best foot forward, listen, give yourself credit. Give yourself some credit. All right. And not only do I want you to give yourself some credit. Ned, I knew exactly what you were saying. Not only do I want you to give yourself some credit, but I also want for you to understand that when we are doing what we're doing, and like I said, grace is what we're given. Not only grace is what we're given by God, but guess what? We've got to give ourselves some grace. And when you're giving yourself some grace, listen, you know what? I often say that when I'm going out, I want to represent myself worthy because I know God is watching me. Okay. And so if we want to represent Christ well, we have to understand that when we are doing our very best, and like I said, doing your very best, you got to understand that God is proud of you, you know? And sometimes we think about the things that we're doing, and I don't know how many of you all ever stop to think and say, you know what? I wonder if God is proud of me for the things that I'm doing. I wonder if God is pleased with me for the stance that I'm taking about certain things. I don't know how many of you all actually stop and wonder about that, but I do sometimes. I do a lot of times, because sometimes what happens, is that I am doing what I am doing, and I'm doing my very best. Hi there, my son is coming in. I am doing my very best to make sure that I am pleasing God. Y'all know this boy of mine. Bend down. This is the son of mine. That's Mr. Will I Am. And Will, tonight I'm talking about you are doing better than you think. Okay?
Oh, thank you.
So,
I know.
You are doing better than you think, son. All right, come over here and tell us a little bit about what's going on in your life. What are you doing that you are most proud of? When was the last time you gave yourself credit for just being who you are?
That's a great question.
When's the last time you gave yourself credit?
You know, daily type of thing. I don't know. I'm just getting back from basketball practice. I'm tired.
Okay, so think about basketball practice. Are you doing a good job with that?
I think so.
How many championships have you won?
Oh, about 8 of them.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hoping to win a 9th with this with my school team.
Okay.
So, I do what I can, type of thing.
All right. That was my special guest for tonight. Thank you, son. Love you too, son. So, you're doing better than you think. Okay? Because sometimes we can sit there and we can say, you know what? I tried this. It just didn't work out. So guess what? I'm going to give up. Don't give up. Keep pushing, you all. Keep striving. Keep setting goals and setting things that you would like to do. And then as you are doing that, remember, you're not being judged by other people. That they don't determine your worth. They do not. Guess what? If you are doing the very best that you can, and you know that, hey, I'm giving it my all, I'm putting everything into it, I'm giving it 110%, keep going, y'all. I'm going to tell y'all, keep going. Because let me just tell you, there are so many people that would love to be able to say, you know what? I see so-and-so over there, and they're doing this, and they're doing that. And I'm just talking to the people that I'm talking to. We can look at our lives and we can try to make it seem like it's so small and it's so insignificant, y'all. You know what I'm talking about. We can try to make it seem like it's not all that in a bag of chips. I'm going to stick with what I was saying earlier. But guess what? People would love to be able to do what you're doing. People would love to say, you know what? I own a business that I am growing, and I am I'm growing it to be something that could be possibly a legacy for my children. People would love to say that, that I have this idea and I've just, I'm putting it out there and, I'm being able to, as someone said earlier, as Candace said earlier, this equates to money. So I want you all to think about this. Whatever you're doing in your life right now, and this is for everybody that's listening, whatever you're doing right now in your life, I want you to know that you are doing better than you think. Give yourself some grace, okay? I didn't say that you were doing perfect, because remember I said, I don't know any perfect people. And we're striving for perfection, but that doesn't mean that we're perfect. I just realized my mom is not on here. Somebody call and check on mama. But at the end of the week, at the end of the day, I want everybody to understand that you're doing better than you think. And I want you to take this, like I said, for the rest of this year. And as you're going about your daily walk, okay, your daily walk, train your eyes to see grace, not just grace for the other people, because you know what? We can show grace and we can show, we can give people the benefit of the doubt. But sometimes, y'all, we are so hard on ourselves. We beat ourselves up for things that, we may say, well, I should have been further along than this. I should have this, I should have that, shoulda, woulda, coulda. That's what we do to ourselves. And so we discount the things that we are doing well. We discount the things, the accomplishments that God has allowed us to accomplish. We discount those things and we make it seem so small and so minor. But I want you to know that these things are major, you all. Again, give yourself some grace and give yourself credit for the things that you've done in your life. And as you're giving yourself grace and you're giving yourself credit to do those things, first of all, you're going to start feeling much better about yourself. You're going to start feeling much better about the things that you've already accomplished. You're going to look at your business venture and you're going to think, oh, look, I did this. I made this happen. And I'm still doing it. And people are still asking for the products that I serve. People are still subscribing to Get Soul Notes. People are still buying books. People are still buying seasons. People are still getting their photography needs met. People are still doing all of these different things. People are still coming to me for something that I have created. And because you have created it, don't stop. Okay? I said last year about your businesses, the people with their side hustles, with their side hustles now, but eventually I pray that they become your main source of income. Okay? So I'm putting that out there. You all receive it. But some of us have our side hustles and you all are doing the work. You're definitely doing the work. Give yourself a pat on the back, and I want you all to continue. I want you to continue that, okay? So as I'm closing, this was just a little bit of I just wanted to tell you all tonight that you are doing better than you think. And let me just say this, as I often say, I'm talking to myself first. I have to pick myself up. I have to do some things for me to let me know, you know what? You're doing a pretty good job. You're doing a pretty good job. Don't stop, okay? When you have to stay up, hey there, mama, I've been waiting for you. Okay, when you have to some nights stay up all night long, and let me tell you, during the Christmas break, I had a lot of things on my mind, and a lot of those things had to do with work and had to do with making sure that I am putting in the work so my business will flourish. And so I'm telling you, sometimes you have to pull an all-nighter to get some things done. Because sometimes especially with the social media and the music and all this different stuff, the soul notes and whatever, my hand is in a lot of things, you all. And sometimes I'm having to learn. You've heard people say you're building the plane while it's in the air. Yes, that means that you're doing the work while you're doing the work. You're working while you're doing the work. You're figuring it out while you're doing it. And so, yes, I am figuring out a lot of different things while I'm actually in the process of doing it. And so many of you all are in the same exact place that I am in currently. You're trying to figure it out as you are doing it. And so as you are trying to do it and trying to figure it out, don't get discouraged. Hang in there. Continue to do what you're doing. And I guess this is like I said, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to myself as well, because so many times I can say, I'm the type of person, I like to work and get something done. I don't want to stop. I want to finish it. I want to complete it. I want to get it done. And so I'll push myself and push myself and push myself until it's done. And then I can sit back and say, okay, I've accomplished that. I figured that out. I was sharing earlier today that I've created something, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to release it, but I'm still trying to perfect it. And so for creative people, we're always going to be in that state of mind where we are trying to perfect the craft and perfect some of the things and the ideas that God has given us. And let me just say this before I close on tonight. You know, you often hear people say that it only takes one great idea for some of us to move from this socioeconomic status to this one. For some of us to leave where we are right now and to be able to do whatever, you know, to become millionaires. You know, not everybody will become millionaires, but sometimes that's only one creative idea. You're only one creative idea from being that or being able to move. So what do? I'm going to tell you what you do. You start praying and you ask God, if this is your goal and your determination, you pray and you ask God, God, give me that idea. Give me that one idea. And then bless me to be able to carry it through. Because see, when God gives you that one idea, now sometimes he can give you that one idea and everything is just laid out for you, okay? But then sometimes you got to work for it. You got to work with God on that. And that means that you've got to do some work too. Because there have been so many ideas that my husband and I have thought about over the years, and we don't do anything with it. And guess what happens? A week, 2 weeks, a month down the road. This used to happen all the time when we were younger. Somebody else would have that same business idea and they're running with it. So I'm going to tell you, if God gives you that one creative idea, don't sleep on it, okay? Continue to pray and ask God, God, you gave me this idea. Now give me what I need to do to execute it. And I remember somebody saying, it may have been Latasha Alexander, something about we're good at coming up with ideas, but and I'm paraphrasing what she said. We're good with coming up with ideas, but the problem that we're having is execution. Okay, so when God gives you something, listen, you all, you need to ask him to bless you to be able to execute it. Okay, and not only execute it, but execute it well. And as you are doing this and growing this, remember, give yourself some grace and give yourself some credit for the work that you're doing. So I want to just end this tonight by just telling you all to be kind to yourself, give yourself some grace, and not only give yourself some grace, but also pat yourself on the back for the work that you're already doing. And if you're not where you want to be, then ask God to help you to get to where you're trying to go. All we got to do is ask. All we have to do is ask. So God, I thank you for the progress that we don't recognize. Thank you for the strength that we have overlooked. Help us to see through your eyes with compassion and not condemnation. Teach us to celebrate the growth. And that's sometimes it's hard, even when it's quiet. Okay? Teach us to celebrate the growth, even when it's quiet. All right, everybody? All right, grandstanders, amen and amen. So listen, everybody, I appreciate you all joining me on tonight just to listen to what I have to say. And don't forget, share, like, subscribe. And on next week, tell me what you've done. Tell me some of the things that you have done this week to be kind to yourself. Because sometimes we have to remember that it starts with us first. It starts with us being kind to ourselves. And if we're kind to ourselves, we're just really modeling the behaviors that we want other people to do and for other people to be kind to us. So as I close on tonight, I just want to say good night, grandstanders. And let's see what I've got for you on tonight. You all know I've been sharing with you all some music, and I just want y'all to keep listening, okay? Let's see. As my sister Cynthia would say, good night, grandstanders. Sometimes you gotta stop and really look at your life. Everybody's finally home. This old story's getting told again. And somehow they still feel new. It's the peace that came with letting go. The smile that shows up out of nowhere. When I slow my pace and take it in, I realize I got more than I thought I had. I don't rush past the blessing anymore. I don't treat the good like it's small. Life taught me joy, don't always shout. Sometimes it's soft, it calls. These are the grand things, the kind that make your chest feel full. The grand things, the love that stayed, the moments that pulled me through. It ain't about having everything figured out. It's noticing what's already here right now. Yeah, these are the grand things. Good night, everybody. Y'all have a great night. And I'm grateful for them. It's the wisdom earned from living, not rushing who I'm meant to be. It's learning how to celebrate the version of me standing here. It's family checking in just because, and joy showing up unplanned. Funny how the biggest parts of life were right here in my hands. I used to think grand meant far away, somewhere I hadn't gone. Turns out grand was walking with me all along. These are the grand things, the smiles that don't need a reason why. The grand things, the quiet wins that don't make headlines. It ain't about the past or racing ahead. It's gratitude living where my feet are planted. Yeah, these are the grand things, and I choose to stand in them. And always loud. Sometimes it's still, sometimes it's a deep breath. Or laughing until you can't sit still. If you pause long enough, you'll see what I mean. There's a whole lot of grand in the life you're already living. These are the grand things. Yeah, the life I'm living, the love I know. The way grace keeps helping me grow. I don't need perfect, I don't need more plans. I just need to recognize where I stand. Yeah, these are the grand things. And I'm standing in them. Take a look at your life. Don't rush past it. There's something grand right there. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.